It's 3 a.m. You are lying on your bed staring at the ceiling fan spinning above you. And even though everything looks quiet, your mind refuses to stay silent, because every financial fear you've been avoiding suddenly comes back at the same time.
That midnight anxiety feels endless, like your thoughts are trapped in a loop, where every worry leads to another even bigger fear about money, survival, and tomorrow. But there is a specific milestone that can break this cycle forever. And it begins the moment you start building your first $10,000 in savings.
Most people think success is about being rich, but in reality, it is about building a wall of financial security, brick by brick, dollar by dollar.
Every dollar you save becomes another brick in that foundation. And when you reach $10,000, that wall finally becomes solid enough to protect your mind. At that point, your mindset changes completely from just surviving every day to actually thinking about building your future. When that happens, your brain stops treating every small problem like a disaster and starts focusing on long-term growth instead.
Without savings, even a small car repair feels like disaster. But with $10,000, it becomes just a small inconvenience you can handle calmly. This shift from panic to peace completely changes your quality of life, because now you are no longer reacting to money stress, you are controlling it.
The moment you have a real emergency fund, life stops feeling fragile, because unexpected problems no longer have the power to destroy your peace.
What once felt like random financial chaos now starts becoming structured, and every dollar begins working as part of a bigger system.
This is where you stop treating income like something to spend and start treating it like something to direct. Savings gives you distance from debt, and every dollar saved weakens the chains that used to control your choices. 10,000 is not the destination. It is the seed from which real wealth can finally begin growing.
Savings changes how you negotiate, because you stop speaking from desperation and start speaking from strength.
For the first time, you gain the power to choose opportunities instead of accepting whatever survival forces on you.
I choose this one. That is when you can finally say no to toxic work, because your security no longer depends on fear.
Real confidence does not come from motivation, it comes from reserves, from knowing you can survive pressure. $10,000 becomes a bridge, connecting survival on one side and freedom on the other.
At this point, you are no longer a passenger in the money game. You finally become the navigator. You stop reacting emotionally and start moving strategically like a player who understands the board.
Because wealth is never one pile of money. It is layers of assets working together. And this is where compound growth begins doing what hard work alone never could. You have turned the coal of financial pressure into the diamond of security. Numbers stop looking intimidating. They start becoming tools you can use.
This is where money begins doing work for you, instead of you doing all the work for money.
Savings does not only buy security, it buys time. And time is the most valuable asset of all.
What starts as $10,000 can become the foundation beneath an entirely new life.
And when you reach this point, you realize your first 10,000 was never the goal. It was only the beginning.
Once you build security, your mind stops thinking paycheck to paycheck and starts thinking in systems, markets, and opportunities.
Wealth is not one income source. It becomes an ecosystem of assets moving in your favor.
At a certain point, growth stops feeling linear and starts accelerating through compounding momentum. You stop seeing money emotionally and begin seeing life through balance sheets and leverage.
This is where income turns into capital, and capital starts becoming an engine.
Real wealth creates a moat around your life, protecting you from chaos others still fear. Economic storms may come, but reserves turn crises into weather instead of catastrophe.
This is when allocation becomes more important than effort.
Inflation stops looking like an invisible thief because your money has learned to defend itself. You begin understanding that money can buy ownership, not just consumption. Every smart financial move should become leverage for the next one. One asset supports another, one opportunity opens a bigger one, and suddenly progress no longer feels slow because momentum has started working for you.
There is a difference between storing money and deploying money. Savings protects you, capital multiplies you. And once you understand that difference, your entire relationship with money transforms.
At first, you manage personal finances, then you begin thinking like capital thinks. Bigger, longer, smarter. And suddenly your decisions begin carrying the logic of wealth.
This is where ownership becomes magical. Because now value can keep paying you while you sleep, income starts repeating, effort starts separating from reward, and freedom begins becoming mathematical.
Wealth often feels difficult in the beginning because the flywheel is heavy, but once discipline builds momentum, progress starts compounding almost by itself, and that is when things begin moving fast.
At some point, the mission stops being survival. It becomes legacy. You stop building only for yourself. You start building for people beyond you. And that changes how serious every dollar becomes.
Money begins feeling less chaotic when you understand systems. Markets stop looking random. Risk becomes measurable. Opportunity becomes visible. And confidence starts coming from understanding.
Wealth often looks like luck from the outside. But inside, it is positioning, it is timing, it is strategy. And once you see that, you stop playing small. Big outcomes rarely come from one giant move. They come from discipline layers stacked over time. One decision, then another, until something massive stands where nothing once existed.
There comes a moment where you cross from earning money into having money work for you. And once you cross that bridge, the rules completely change.
At this stage, you stop thinking like an employee solving bills. You start thinking like an allocator directing capital. Every move has purpose. Every dollar has assignment.
Risk never disappears, but preparation changes your relationship with it. What scares others becomes manageable to you, and sometimes even profitable.
Wealth starts behaving like a river once enough capital exists. It branches, it feeds opportunities, it keeps moving, and momentum starts feeding itself. Some people save for safety, others build for legacy. But when you reach this level, you begin realizing what you create may outlive you. Security did not appear by accident. It was built through repetition, through discipline, through restraint, through decisions most people avoid making. You are no longer reacting to the system anymore. You understand it, you navigate it, and slowly, you begin using it in your favor.
All that financial pressure that once felt crushing was shaping you. Stress became discipline. Discipline became security. And security became power.
You are no longer a passenger in the money game. You have become the navigator. You make the moves now. You set the direction.
And suddenly $10,000 looks small compared to what it unlocked.
Your first 10,000 was only page 1. And now an infinite story of success begins.
If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Money Decode. Let's meet you in the next video.